Hey guys, welcome back to Aussie Custom Garage. Today, I've got this jet ski in here. I've got to do a lot of repairs underneath. It's for a guy, just brought it and it was pretty gouged up, so he wants me to repair the bottom of the hull and repaint it in, what do they call it? It's a polyurethane black. So he's not too fussed whether it's not colour matched. He actually said do it in matte black if I want. And I was like, not real keen on that idea. And obviously do a detail on the ski itself and replace the Hydromat that was on it, which that was fun in itself. That took me, I'd say, close to 8 hours to do. Don't recommend it, but yeah, it's one of those things. Yeah, if you guys, like I said, like these videos, don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave me a comment. Tell me what I'm doing wrong. Tell me what you like. Whatever. But yeah, we'll get stuck into it again today. Plan is to try and get the whole bottom of the ski prepped. Then as soon as the primer and everything arrive for the polyurethane, we'll get it all in primer, get it sanded back with some 600 and get smashed into it. So what I'm using today, guys, is this little lift strap kit. Just brought it on eBay. I'll leave a link below in the description to if you guys are interested in buying one. All it is clamps on either side. Use an engine crane. Engine crane lifts it up. It's a bit of a nuisance to try and get the trailer out from underneath of it. You've literally got to sort of take the tyre off of it and drag the trailer out on a jack, then put the tyre back on it, which I actually had to take the guard off of it as well because I couldn't get this little 1-ton jack in far enough. The hoist is a bit small for what I'm doing. I would have preferred a 1.5 ton, but this is all I could get on the time frame that I've got. I've only got roughly about a week to get this done, maybe 2 weeks. The guy works in the mines, so he's on 3 weeks on, 1 week off, I think. So yeah, pretty happy with it so far. It's a 2019 Kawasaki supercharged jet ski. But yeah, I'll show you guys. I've done most of the repairs on the worst side already. I've done that through the week while I was on the trailer. But yeah, we'll have a look and yeah. So this is underneath of it, guys. There was quite a few big gouges all through it. This is just etch primer that I've put on here just to see whether the repairs are half decent. Obviously, I've still got to sand all of the Dolphin glaze that I've been using underneath. But yeah, it's pretty decent holes in it like that. All over it. There's another big one. There's another big one just there, but that's going to be past the paint line that I'm going to be doing. I'm not removing the jet ski sticker off the side. He only wants to paint to this rib, which I'm more than fine about. So, and there's a few big ones in it there, but I can't do much with those unless we remove those stickers off of it and paint all the way up to the to where the jet ski splits in half. But same thing, that's going to be more work that I've got to do. All I'm doing is sanding it down with 240 on an air orbital, and yeah, like I said, using Dolphin glaze just to repair where those gouges are and where any of the deep scratches are. And then the primer, the polyurethane primer is like a high fill primer anyway, so it'll fill in a lot of the bad stuff, but I want to try and hit most of it the best I can and feather most of it out before we chuck some high fill in it. Alright guys, about 5 hours later, I tripped the Bunnings to get 80 grit sandpaper and, I don't know, 5 or so beers deep. The etch primer that was on the front there, I've had to 80 grit the whole thing Then go over it with 240 to try and get rid of obviously the scratches. Not sure whether this can is out of date or what it is, but the primer, as soon as I hit it with the Cinder with a 240 grit, I know it just went real, it gummed up the pad really bad and just went real weird. It does say that it's for fiberglass as well. I don't know what the go is there, but just spent, yeah, literally like 4 hours or so getting rid of that, which was 4 hours of my life that I'll never get back. But, you know, it's one of those things. But it's all gone now as far as I'm aware. There might be one or two little spots, but I've still got to hit it all with 240 again. I've started sanding all down the back of the ski. Got the other side of the ski left to go. There's a few little pinholes that I want to fix up. There's a big repair there that I need to fix up. Then obviously the front of the hull as well. There's still a bit of fiberglass showing there that I couldn't get to while the trailer was still underneath the ski. But obviously now it's not. So we will get stuck into continuing the sand, continuing the repairs. Then hopefully within the next 5 days I will have the primer and the paint. Right, guys, so about a week later, we've got the ski all ready to go. Sanded it all up. Got all the repairs done finally. Took forever. Now the paint's finally arrived. This is what we've got. The Norglass brand. Primer is a 3-to-1 and that's a 2-to-1, but you can add a little bit of thinners to reduce it if need be, which I more than likely will as I'm spraying it with a spray gun. So I'll get it all mixed up now, and yeah, we'll go. Alright guys, so I've mixed up my primer. So I just done a 3-to-1 ratio, like I said. Same thing with hardener and a little bit of thinners. It does say you can use up to 33% thinners with this, but I used about 15% just because it is like 23 degrees today. So if it's under 26 degrees, I do recommend 33% obviously because it's meant to be a high build, but it's quite runny. So I'm a little bit skeptical. I'm thinking I might actually put a little bit more primer in it and a little bit more hardener just to try and get it to be a little bit more high build. I just don't like the consistency of it. And they reckon to spray it at like 50 to 60 psi, which I don't feel real comfortable with doing that. I'll see how it goes first, but I'll get this poured into the gun and set you guys up on a time lapse and see how it starts spraying. Right, so time lapse didn't work, as per usual. The light's going to be flickering. It's going to be annoying because I've got those lights under there. But that's the first coat of primer. I've used half of it, so still got another litre to go. It's come up not too bad. It's got a couple of pinholes like that in it, which I'm a bit worried about. Hoping that the next coat might fill it in a bit. But I did end up adding probably another 10 mils of primer just to thicken it up because, like I said, I didn't like the consistency of it. So I'm not a professional painter by any means, guys, so it's not really a how-to, it's just what I've done to do this job. Do have a couple of pointers. If you're going to use one of these blue flexi hoses on a reel, don't, because they're a pain in the ass. I should have known better. I was planning on getting a rubber hose to do it all properly, but they curl up and it touches the bottom of the ski. And I want to go a little bit higher with the hoist, just to, because I've still got plenty of room before it gets close to the roof. So yeah, that make it a bit easier to try and get under there with the gun. But I think I've got pretty decent coverage on it. Looks pretty good. Oh, it's a little bit patchy down the back. That's what the second coat's there for. So we'll wait half an hour, let that tack off, do what it's got to do. I'll mix up the rest of it, smack that on, and then I'll show you guys the final process of what I've done with the primer. And then I'll put a guide coat on, sand it down probably tomorrow. So I think it has to sit for 24 hours or 16 hours, this paint, and then smack into it with the black base coat that I've got. And yeah, put it on the trailer and hopefully get it out of here. Alright guys, got him all prepped up on both sides. That took way longer than I thought it would. I've literally got a full day, and I'd say I've got a solid 10 to 12 hours in sanding. It was a mission, and I've got bruises on my shoulders all locked up, but probably shouldn't have wet and dry sanded it all. I should have probably hit it with 240 first, then hit it with like a 600 or an 800 just to wet and dry, just to get it a little bit smoother. But man, it was a mission and a half. But we're now ready for the paint, so I'll get that mixed up. Pretty certain it was a 2-to-1 or a 3-to-1 ratio, but I'll double check before I mix it up. And yeah, we'll get this stuff laid on. All I'm going to be using is this cheap little eBay gun. It's got a 1.4mm tip on it, so it should lay pretty nicely, I would imagine. Might be a little bit orange peely, but you know, it's not going to really matter. It laid pretty flat with a 1.8mm tip from the other gun that I had, which is just it's a decent-ish brand gun, but it's an old gun. It's my old primer gun that I've used for ages. It's a Prona R400, but it worked, done the job. So get it mixed up, tell you guys how I've mixed it up, what I've done, get this gun dialed in, and we'll start laying some paint. Alright guys, so mix the paint up. It's a 2-to-1 ratio, so you can't really put any primer in it. Got a new air hose, or another air hose, or a big reel. So that's going to help a hell of a lot with not hitting the bottom of the hole like I did. So I'll mask up, glove up, get that spray gun situated, and yeah, I'll put you guys on a time lapse, hopefully if this one works, and start spraying some shit. Alright guys, so once again, time lapse didn't work, but we've got our first coat of black on. I'm going to do 2 coats on this, but so far I'm pretty happy with it. It actually covers really well. Couple of little dry spots that I need to fix up, but that's only this spray gun that I've got. It's not a bad little gun, it sprays out pretty decent. Besides, apart from the fact of once you get it past the point, the fluid doesn't run very good into the gun and sprays out a little bit patchy. But other than that, more than happy with it. Did end up mixing it just as a 2-to-1, so it's just literally the paint, pour the hardener straight into it, mix it up, and away you go. So it mixes a litre. I've used 500 mils already, so get this other one smashed on and unwrap it. Alright guys, so I end up doing 3 coats on it. It's got a little bit of rubbish in it, but that's to be expected from, you know, obviously being painted in a home garage. But that little Chinese gun did alright. When I say did alright, the second coat, as I was putting it on, it was very patchy. Turns out that the filter that I had internal of the pot had clogged up, so I had to pull it apart, pull that out, put it back together, and it sprayed perfect after that. So the hardener in that base coat, obviously it sets pretty quick. So yeah, once I got all that situated, it's literally only finished painting it maybe 20 minutes ago, 25 minutes ago. So it's still going to cure and it's going to level itself down hopefully. So very impressed with it, highly recommend it. It's pretty easy stuff, just obviously like I said, don't use 600 wet and dry on that because it's painful. use a 240 on an orbital and then get in there and just go over the top of it just to clean it up. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. So guys, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.